Competent Communicator Manual.
Thank you. I'm going to talk about the opposite of adago na. I'm going to talk about sharing and cooperation. So, this summer I became the enterprise lead for the TRADOC Analysis Center for Knowledge Management. And I'd encountered knowledge management before in my career, but I did some research to understand what I should be doing. I went to academic sources. I read the Army doctrine. I looked at trends coming out of industry. I interviewed my son-in-law, who's an IT professional who's been doing knowledge management for over a decade. I interviewed other knowledge management experts in the Army. And I distilled that all together. And it's pretty dry stuff, but I'll try to squeeze just a little bit of juice out of it for you. I'll define the relevant terms and give you that distilled knowledge. And then I'll tell you a bit about how and why we embrace knowledge management in my organization. And then just for the fun of it, I'll tell you a little bit about my philosophy as it relates to knowledge, because all of my speeches have this theme that relate to ideas and how I encounter them. So to define the relevant terms, knowledge is familiarity with something or someone. It involves facts, descriptions, information, and it also involves the it involves the way that we apply skills. We acquire our knowledge through education and experience. And that knowledge can either be theoretical or practical. We have implicit or tacit knowledge that we demonstrate when we accomplish some task, when we do something. We also have theoretical or explicit knowledge when we describe something, like the information I'm giving you here. Knowledge management is a set of practices and processes in an organization that are used to identify, create, represent, distribute, and enable people to have those experiences and to have those pieces of information available to them. The insights and the experiences that comprise the organization's knowledge, of course, can be theoretical or practical. And the Army's published an 82-page doctrinal manual on knowledge management. And it talks about the nature and role of knowledge management. It talks about duties and responsibilities for the people who are engaged in knowledge management. It describes the Army's 5-phase knowledge management process. It has appendices that describe things like content management and interviewing techniques and conducting after-action reviews and facilitating professional forums. So there's a whole body of knowledge out there about knowledge and knowledge management. And our organization has embraced knowledge management, and we are working diligently to incorporate it into our DNA. The Army even has its own definition of knowledge, which differs from the definitions that I pulled from the other sources. And that's not unusual because we write things down, we call it doctrine, and it's our collective wisdom, it's our knowledge. And so for the Army, knowledge is information that's been analyzed or evaluated for value or purpose. We collect and process data to yield information. We analyze and evaluate information to develop knowledge, and then we apply knowledge to develop understanding. That's sort of the Army's way with knowledge. For my organization, knowledge is about two things: people and products. We're an analytic organization, so we produce analytic products. Our knowledge is in the form of insights, and we call those insights things like findings and recommendations. And most of that knowledge, 90% or more, is in the people. But the people produce the knowledge products, and then they share them. And that's what our knowledge management is about, getting the people together to produce the products and share them. When we produce this knowledge, we want to do this for a purpose. So we have a mission for our knowledge management system. And that mission is to allow that sharing, to enhance our collaboration, it's to foster innovation, and it's to promote our organizational values and culture. So people in an organization innovate when they put ideas into practice. The knowledge management system gives them access to knowledge products and to other people that help them to take ideas and put them into practice in new ways, and that's how we innovate. Culturally, the knowledge management system reflects and reinforces our values. For us, culture is the shared beliefs that motivate our behaviors. And so our knowledge management system has to reflect and reinforce those shared beliefs. So I've defined and explained a little about knowledge management's relationship to our organization. Now I want to talk about its my personal relationship with it. So through my life, I thought that I would gather knowledge and learn, and it would create wisdom and enlightenment. The exact opposites happened. What I've discovered is that the more I learn, the further away I am from that goal. If, mathematically, we think about all I know and we can count all those things, and we compare that to all the things I could possibly know. In mathematics, if you take that as a ratio, it's a fraction, it's less than 1. If that numerator is growing and approaching the denominator, then it's coming close to 1. My younger daughter, at 15, knew everything. She did this by discarding all the knowledge that she didn't have as unnecessary. My hope is that her 14-year-old daughter will reach that point very soon. But my problem is, as I learn things and my numerator grows, I learn even more things and my denominator grows faster. In mathematics, that means that number is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The more I learn, the less I know. Thank you.